If you're a die-hard Browns fan and love breaking down the game like we do, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a blitz. At the Cleveland Browns training camp kickoff, no sight was more surreal than Myles Garrett, confidently stepping to the podium, suited in brown and orange, smiling as if February never happened. Just a few months ago, Garrett seemed miles away figuratively and literally from this team, openly airing his frustrations during Super Bowl week and declaring he wanted out. His words were heavy, slicing through the optimism of fans like a winter wind off Lake Erie. He wanted a team that was built to win now, not tomorrow or next year. He wanted a Super Bowl, not mediocrity, and for Garrett, it wasn't just frustration, it was clarity. He believed the Browns weren't just underperforming. They were headed in the wrong direction altogether. Fans didn't want to hear it, but deep down, many knew he wasn't wrong. Yet, seeing him now, standing tall at Cross Country Mortgage campus, sends a completely different message, one that says, I'm all in. And Garrett isn't just showing up, he's taking the mic and setting the tone for what he believes 2025 should look like for the Browns, Super Bowl or bust, with complete calm and conviction. He looked reporters in the eye and declared, I expect to get to the Super Bowl. These weren't empty words tossed to fire up a sleepy training camp crowd. This was a challenge, a dare to his teammates, his coaches, his franchise, and yes, to himself. He followed it up by saying he expects to win another Defensive Player of the Year award. As if greatness were just part of his routine, his voice didn't tremble, his eyes didn't flinch. The message was clear: if Garrett is here, he's not just showing up, he's going to lead, dominate, and demand the same from everyone around him. Whether fans or pundits believe in the Browns doesn't matter to him. He believes and he expects results, of course. The boldness of Garrett's expectations isn't out of character. This is the same player who once declared that he wanted to be remembered as the best defensive end in NFL history. Even during his brief public spat with the organization, he wasn't running from expectations, he was chasing them. Garrett has always measured himself by the highest standards possible. And now that he's back with the Browns, he's not lowering the bar 1 inch. If anything, he's raising it. He knows that talk alone doesn't win football games, but talk from someone who backs it up with sacks, forced fumbles, and bone-rattling hits carries a different weight. Garrett's expectations are high because his ability is elite. When he speaks about leading this team to the Super Bowl, it doesn't sound like wishful thinking, it sounds like a plan. What makes Garrett's stance even more compelling is the fact that he had leverage to leave and didn't. In February, he was public, he was vocal, and he was justified. But when March rolled around, something changed. Just days before the league year began, Garrett agreed to a massive 4-year, $160 million extension, making him the highest paid non-quarterback in football at the time. That's not just a commitment from the Browns. It's a signal from Garrett that he's ready to carry this team on his back. Money matters, sure, but Garrett could have gotten paid anywhere. He chose to stay. He chose Cleveland, and now he's using that platform to hold the entire franchise to the highest possible standard. His words on day 1 of camp weren't a speech, they were a declaration of war on complacency. Garrett's leadership has now taken on a new dimension. It's not just about being the best player on the field, it's about being the best version of himself. Every single day, the team's going to go as I go, he said. That's not bravado. That's responsibility. That's ownership. He understands that if the Browns are going to rewrite the script in 2025, it starts with him. From the first rep in training camp to the final whistle in Week 18, he has to be relentless. Every sprint, every meeting, every film session, Garrett has placed the burden of success on his own shoulders. And for a team looking to bounce back from a dismal 3-win season, there's no better person to set that tone. If Myles Garrett is all in, then the rest of the locker room better follow. Still, outside of Berea, few share Garrett's optimism. Sportsbooks have the Browns pegged for just 5.5 wins this year. Some odds makers even have them listed as frontrunners for the #1 overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. That kind of skepticism isn't unfounded after all. Cleveland stumbled through 2024 like a team stuck in reverse. The offense was inconsistent. The defense, even with Garrett playing at an elite level, couldn't overcome constant breakdowns. Injuries piled up, coaching decisions were questioned, and by December, the stadium felt more like a ghost town than the Dawg Pound. So when Garrett says he expects a Super Bowl, it sounds like lunacy to many, but this is the NFL, where worst 2 first stories happen more often than in any other league. Garrett knows that. He's banking on it. The reality is that Garrett can't do this alone. As dominant as he is, racking up 16 sacks last year and drawing double teams on nearly every snap, he's still one player. Football is the ultimate team sport. And one elite edge rusher doesn't erase deficiencies across an entire roster. He needs help from the secondary, the linebackers, the offense. He needs his quarterback to stay upright, the O-line to protect, and the coaching staff to scheme with precision. Garrett is the engine, no doubt. But he's not the whole vehicle. That's why his public stance matters so much. It's a call to arms. He's raising the standard, not just for himself, but for everyone in the building. From the equipment staff to the front office, it's Super Bowl or bust. No more excuses. Interestingly, Garrett's evolution into this kind of vocal, high-stakes leader didn't happen overnight. Earlier in his career, he was quieter, letting his play do the talking. But 8 years in, he understands the power of presence. He knows young players watch him, mirror his routines, study how he handles adversity. And after experiencing both success and failure, Garrett is now a complete leader. He's lived through good seasons and forgettable ones. He's endured coaching changes, roster turnover, media scrutiny. That wisdom shapes his message now. We have guys who understand both sides of the coin, he said. Those are the players he trusts, the ones who felt both the pain of losing and the fire of chasing greatness. Together, he believes they can build something real in 2025 ultimately. The question isn't whether Myles Garrett believes the Browns can win a Super Bowl. That's obvious. The real question is whether the Browns can match his belief with action. Can the coaches put him in position to succeed? Can the front office find the right complementary pieces? Can the team stay healthy, stay hungry, and stay disciplined through 18 grueling weeks? Those are the margins Garrett talked about. In the NFL, championships aren't won by talent alone, they're won by inches, moments, and decisions. Garrett understands that better than most. He's committed to making sure Cleveland doesn't waste another year of his prime. Because if this is going to be a turnaround season, it won't be by accident. It'll be because Garrett demanded. It's every day, every snap, every breath, and that's what makes this training camp different. This isn't just another August full of empty promises and training camp hype. This feels like the beginning of something purposeful, driven by one of the league's best players who decided to stay and fight. Myles Garrett had every reason to walk away. He didn't. Instead, he doubled down, signed the extension, took the podium, and raised the bar for everyone. It's Super Bowl or bust, not as a dream, but as a plan. For Garrett, it's not about what the Browns have been, but what they can become. He's not hoping for change. He is the change. And if anyone can will this franchise out of its shadow, it's the man in the number 95 jersey who finally stopped waiting and started leading. Enjoying the content so far? Smash that like button and drop your take in the comments. We want to hear what you think about the Browns this season. In a move that has sent shockwaves through the NFL rumor mill, sources close to league insiders suggest that Kirk Cousins may be on the verge of leaving the Atlanta Falcons to reunite with Kevin Stefanski in Cleveland. While nothing has been officially confirmed, the whispers have grown louder over the past few days, with analysts and insiders pointing to mounting evidence that something big is brewing behind the scenes. Cousins, who signed a lucrative deal with Atlanta just recently, is reportedly unhappy with the direction the Falcons' offense has taken under the current system. Meanwhile, the Browns are eyeing stability and experience at quarterback as they gear up for a ruthless AFC North campaign. If these rumors hold any weight, it would mark one of the most dramatic and strategic quarterback shuffles in recent memory. The potential reunion with Stefanski, who once helped Cousins shine in Minnesota, adds even more intrigue to the unfolding situation. Kevin Stefanski and Kirk Cousins formed a dynamic and productive partnership during their time together with the Minnesota Vikings, where Stefanski served as the offensive coordinator. That era saw Cousins deliver some of the most efficient football of his career, gaining praise for his poise, accuracy, and command under Stefanski's system. With that history in mind, the possibility of reuniting in Cleveland feels like more than just a passing rumor. It could be a calculated play by the Browns to finally solidify their quarterback position with a proven veteran who understands Stefanski's complex offensive scheme. Deshaun Watson, plagued by inconsistency and injuries, has not been the stabilizing force Cleveland hoped for. Enter Cousins, a player with playoff experience, leadership qualities, and a deep familiarity with what Stefanski expects. The buzz around Berea, Ohio, is growing steadily, with insiders noting subtle shifts in the Browns' front office tone and activity in recent days. Of course, for any of this to come to fruition, several moving parts must align perfectly. Cousins would need to negotiate his exit from Atlanta, a team that invested heavily in him as the centerpiece of their rebuild. Yet, early reports suggest that the Falcons are quietly open to exploring options if Cousins expresses the desire to move on, particularly if it opens up cap space and paves the way for a younger quarterback like Michael Penix Jr. to step in. From a business standpoint, the move could be mutually beneficial, especially if Atlanta can secure assets in return and Cleveland gets the veteran presence they crave. The Browns are in a rare window of competitiveness in a brutally tough division, and bringing in Cousins could be seen as the missing piece to help them contend not just for the division title, but for a deep playoff run. It's a high-stakes game of chess that both franchises appear to be cautiously considering. Adding fuel to the fire, Cousins has been spotted in Cleveland on what sources describe as a private visit, though officially the trip was chalked up to personal reasons. Social media sleuths quickly noticed the pattern. Cousins' agent has liked several Browns-related posts in recent days, and Stefanski himself dodged a pointed question about quarterback depth with a "we're always evaluating" response during a press conference. These breadcrumbs may seem small, but in the world of NFL gossip, they carry weight, especially when combined with the mounting dissatisfaction within the Falcons' locker room. Rumors suggest that Cousins has privately voiced concerns about Atlanta's offensive line protection and lack of identity under the new play-calling regime. A move to Cleveland, where the offensive line is considered top-tier and the scheme tailor-made for his strengths, would represent a homecoming of sorts and a chance to rekindle that magic from their Minnesota days. The AFC North, already a battlefield of elite defenses and franchise quarterbacks, would become even more volatile with Cousins in Cleveland. Imagine Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, and now Kirk Cousins all fighting for supremacy in a division that rarely offers breathing room. While not as flashy as his younger counterparts, Cousins brings surgical efficiency and veteran savvy that could give the Browns a serious edge. With Stefanski calling plays and a roster stacked with talent like Amari Cooper, David Njoku, and Nick Chubb, if healthy, the Browns could transform from fringe playoff hopefuls to legitimate contenders. The synergy between coach and quarterback would be the foundation of that charge. While critics might question Cousins' ceiling, Stefanski knows exactly how to get the best out of him. That shared history might be the X factor Cleveland needs in a division where every inch counts, and leadership is often the difference between heartbreak and glory. Meanwhile, the reaction in Atlanta has been mixed. Some fans feel betrayed by the timing of these rumors, especially after the franchise went all in on Cousins during free agency. But others acknowledge the reality: if Cousins isn't fully committed, it's better to pivot now than wait too long. The Falcons have a budding defense and young offensive pieces, ready to be molded around a quarterback who fits their timeline. If Cousins' heart truly lies elsewhere, specifically in Ohio, the Falcons could leverage that desire into future draft picks or even a player-for-player deal that helps both sides. There's also speculation that the front office had quietly been preparing for this possibility, keeping tabs on potential backups and keeping Penix on a fast-track development plan. The narrative is shifting fast, and unless the Falcons and Cousins come out with a joint statement soon, the speculation will only intensify. Back in Cleveland, the mood is one of cautious optimism. Browns fans, long accustomed to quarterback chaos, see the potential Cousins reunion as something refreshingly stable and proven. The franchise has cycled through names at a dizzying pace, but Cousins represents something different, a seasoned professional who knows how to win games and doesn't shy away from the moment. His style may not be flashy, but his results, especially under Stefanski, are undeniable. Behind closed doors, team officials are reportedly doing their due diligence, combing through the financials, consulting medical evaluations, and analyzing game tape from the Vikings' years. They want to be sure that this isn't just a nostalgic move, but one rooted in competitive logic. If they pull the trigger, it could reframe how the league views the Browns, not as lovable underdogs, but as a smart, aggressive franchise that knows how to win in today's NFL. What makes this potential reunion even more intriguing is the personal relationship between Cousins and Stefanski. Reports from their Vikings tenure describe a deep mutual respect, a shared language when it comes to offensive philosophy, and a rare coach-quarterback trust that can't be manufactured. Those who were around the team during that time say Cousins thrived under Stefanski's structure, and Stefanski, in turn, trusted Cousins to execute the game plan with precision. In a league where chemistry is everything, That kind of bond could be a game changer. It's not hard to imagine Cousins stepping into the Browns facility and feeling right at home. Not just because of Stefanski, but because of a locker room full of veterans who want to win now. The stakes are high, but the potential payoff could be huge. It's the kind of football story that feels like fate, or at the very least, unfinished business between the professionals with something to prove. From a narrative perspective, it's almost the redemption arc of a quarterback seeking one more shot at postseason glory, paired with a coach trying to cement his legacy in a city starving for a winner. If the Browns do pull this off, it would immediately shift the power dynamics in the AFC North and potentially across the entire conference. Cousins may not bring the electricity of a Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen, but what he does bring: consistency, discipline. Leadership is exactly what Cleveland has lacked under center for decades. For a team with a ferocious defense and dangerous, skilled players, all they may need is the right conductor. The murmurs continue to grow, and while no ink has hit paper yet, the feeling around the league is that something is coming. Something big, the kind of move that defines a season and maybe even a legacy. Keep your eyes on Cleveland. This might be the spark that sets the AFC North on fire. Ultimately, this remains a rumor, but it's a rumor rooted in logic, history, and timing. The NFL is a league of windows, and right now, Cleveland's is open but only just bringing in Kirk Cousins might not be the long-term plan, but it could be the perfect short-term answer. A proven commodity stepping into a familiar system. In a division that demands excellence every week, the stars may be aligning. And while nothing is guaranteed in this league, one thing's for sure: if Cousins dons the brown and orange once again under Stefanski's command, every game in the AFC North just got a whole lot more interesting. Thanks for riding with us on another Browns Blitz. If you liked the video, share it with a fellow fan, hit subscribe, and ring that bell so you're always part of the Dawg Pound conversation. Go Browns!